Hi, this is Delaney Etterbeck. I'm the general manager of KRCC, and thanks to everyone who responded to our first t-shirt piece, and especially thanks to folks that brought some t-shirts by. This first one, this is our sort of Pac-Man Miami Vice shirt, I believe. I don't... Um, I was thinking a B. Arthur blazer might look really good with this. Yeah, we love it. This someone brought by this weekend, emailed me a photo of, or there were a lot. I'm sorry if I'm forgetting who gave me what, but thanks to everybody. And this one I actually think is kind of cool. So, not that any of them weren't cool, but this one, cool. And this is our little radio guy. This was designed by Mike Damon, who did many of our t-shirts and a lot of our graphic design for us in the 80s and the 90s. And our current t-shirt printer, Diane Webb at Rainy Days, worked for a press that printed this little radio guy. And this was a piece of flat paper that came, and you could cut out all the pieces for it and assemble it. So we don't have any of the original full sheets of paper that you can cut out, but this is the assembled radio guy that's been sitting in my office, encrusted in dust. But you can see it says there's a little Dr. Science on there, and a little 3D butterfly, and a little Converse radio guy. And here, apparently Cubist is the design, the art type for this shirt. So this is another version of this that came through. We had one of these in the first slideshow, but this was a different set of colors for this shirt. This is probably late 80s. And this is sort of the Wham! Choose Life KRCC t-shirt. It was just this gigantic lime green KRCC in 91.5. And I think that was probably around 92, because there were a lot of those floating around here when I showed up here for the first time. I grabbed these just to sort of show a couple of little interesting tidbits that I found around the station. You know, our mouthpiece, which is our newsletter, this is what they used to look like. So here's one from April 2001, had our program schedule inside of it, along with all of our early bird deals. And before we did the printed mouthpieces, we used to be part of City Comics. I don't know if you remember City Comics, but we were the sort of central section in City Comics. And right there that's what would come out each month. So on the left is our program schedule, and we used to do the laser hour at 11 p.m. each night, where we would play an entire CD. This was around the time that I started when I was working at KRCC, around 92, 93, and it was always fun to make contributions to what the laser hours should be. More Sean Englund designs. This is our little Mighty Mouse guy. I gave to save the day. Have you yet? Quality by the truckload. KRCC 91.5. Awesome. And our little Sinatra guy in multiple colors. And this was probably 95-ish. I was definitely a student worker at the station then, and it's just that this whole bunch of bands. I think Jeff ran a report on what our new ads had been that month, and then we all got to sort of contribute a few things that we thought would be important. And there were two versions of this, and I think each time we just swapped out which bands were popular at the time. Here's another one with our cool little Susie Robert Smith character and the kitty. And the origin of this one is where it says, "Who needs extreme? All I want is info." And Greg Bennett, who does Morning Edition, suggested at one point that that we need to have some sort of spoof on extreme, because that was like the time where everything was extreme. So he's like, we've got to do a KRCC shirt making fun of that. So I think this might have been the third in the series, with the punk dude and the kitty. And the Western Sky shirt, when we hired Eric Whitney and started the news magazine Western Skies, this was our little logo. And note, he has very dainty boots. Okay, so here's the Subversive shirt. This is the one that actually I think there was even a comment about on our last slideshow. So this is the one where I went just wacky crazy and did a little tiny KRCC logo. So there's a better side of it. Just a little tiny KRCC. And this is part of the set of Getty images that I bought that I really liked. And my favorite shirt, I believe. And there's the third in the Getty images that we bought, the KRCC World. And the next one is kind of an interesting one because we always give Mike Purcell the prototypes. So we were trying different ink colors on this shirt. So this was the first version with white and beige. So if you ever see Mike Purcell walking around in a KRCC shirt, it probably looks nothing like any other shirt. Thank you for your contributions, Mike. And here's our Viva la Radio Pubblica. I'm probably saying that horribly, but we actually had to find an Italian mother to make sure that we had spelled the Pubblica correctly. So after lots of Googling, we went to Stephen Rayer, who used to work here, who's now our happy lawyer friend in Portland. And he used to do host Morning Edition and did lots of great stuff here. And his mother vetted this for us, so we had spelled it correctly. And the red version brought in by a listener. Another one of Mike's shirts, a prototype of one of the Mark Hewitt designs. And this is a ink color we didn't go with, but Mike's got it. Here's a Mike Damon design. And this was the flat earth. It's upside down with the moon made of cheese, all square. Fun one. One of our volunteers, his name is Matthew Crawford, came to us years ago, and he had done a little carved KRCC logo. And we thought it was just totally awesome. He carved it out of wax. He's a jeweler. And he carved it out of wax and wanted to make a pin for us and did, and they were fantastic. So we ordered a bunch of them for our 50th anniversary. And Matthew is on, I think, on Thursdays now. Great guy. This is our bootleg. I have no idea where this came from, but I think I've seen a couple of these sitting around, so maybe someone knows. They'll chime in. And here's the current shirt in our candy colors. And to finish it off, this was one of our early bird premiums this year, and this is the KRCC hoodie. Yeah, and thanks everyone who emailed. Sorry I don't have a list of everyone in front of me right now, but thank you all, and thanks everyone that brought their t-shirts by, and Eric Cole, who snapped a bunch of photos of his old shirts for us last night. So thanks. Hope you have joined KRCC this drive.